And streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, the Crossroads celebrates National Night Out, strengthening bonds between first responders and the community.
Plus, the Victoria County Sheriff talks about the long-term consequences of making a school threat.
And body cam video shows the dramatic moments a Houston police officer saved the life of a choking baby.
And we're taking a look at that thing down in the tropics. It looks like it is coming into the Gulf of Mexico. Will it make it to the crossroads? All that coming up in a moment.
And Victoria West battles Kerrville Tivy Antlers this Friday night. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Shawna Currie.
Port Lavaca police arrested a man on a charge of solicitation of prostitution from a minor. 45-year-old Christopher Martinez of Seadrift also is charged with online solicitation of a minor from Bexar County. He is in the Calhoun County Jail in lieu of $280,000 bond. Calhoun County deputies arrested a man on a human smuggling charge. 48-year-old Victor Garcia was arrested Monday. He is in the Calhoun County Jail in lieu of $50,000 bond.
The Victoria County Sheriff is sending a firm message to parents and students about the consequences of threats against school safety. Last week, law enforcement and Victoria ISD held a joint press conference to address a series of threats. Sheriff Justin Marr says more than a dozen students were arrested since this school year started in mid-August. Making a false report or threat to a campus is a felony charge. Sheriff Marr says rights can be stripped away as a result of such a charge.
Well, there's lots of rights and privileges. You know, businesses won't hire you, or not all businesses will hire you. It can affect many of your rights, the ability to vote or, you know, possess a firearm or anything like that. I mean, it's just it's serious. It's a serious offense, and you know, it's awful. It's a young group that's dealing with this right now, and it's kind of a sad situation.
Sheriff Marr urges parents to talk with children about the severity of the consequences. He's also reminding parents they can face a felony charge for spreading misinformation on social media about unverified threats to campuses. He says if you know something, report it directly to law enforcement instead of sharing on social media.
In Lavaca County, a man charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon was in court Monday. A pre-trial hearing was set for 20-year-old Jesus Mendiola from Buda. The pre-trial hearing will be November 13th, and the jury trial is set to begin November 18th. Mendiola and two others were arrested in January. Back on January 1st, 3 men near Moulton beat and stabbed a man. Mendiola is in the Lavaca County Jail in lieu of $75,000 bond. He's on an ICE immigration detainer. Today, Texas recognized the relationship between first responders and the community with National Night Out.
Here in the Crossroads, many communities gathered to get to know neighbors better and support our police, firefighters, and emergency services. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting was at one of these celebrations, and he joins us now. Trenton.
Don, Shawna, thank you. National Night Out is a day where the community can get to know their first responders. Today, I went to witness one of these celebrations firsthand. Just off of Guy Grant Road in Victoria is a community on Bramblebush Lane. Every year, this neighborhood comes together to grill food, share drinks together. Of course, they always freely share with the police officers and first responders that visit. Many officers on the force believe in the importance of National Night Out.
We look forward to National Night Out every year. It's a great time for us to come out and get to meet the residents of different neighborhoods. It's always good to know the people in the neighborhood, because then they're not, you know, they're less reluctant to come talk to us, and they would, like I said, they tell us maybe problems and crime trends and things that we can hone in on and try to reduce those crimes and make the neighborhood safer.
First responders in the area had well over 20 events to reach throughout the night. Shawna, Don, back to you.
Trent, thank you. And let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warning Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And Mac, tomorrow is an ozone action day. Is that right?
Yes, because the winds are so light. You know, we pollute every day, but fortunately for us, the Gulf breeze blows a lot of that away. Well, tomorrow, not only in big cities like Houston, San Antonio, and Dallas, we are included in the fact that we're going to create pollution, and it's just sort of going to hang in the air. Meantime, we're going to be watching this activity because it is going to be getting close to us. It is going to do some shower activity, but I don't believe it's going to be a tropical storm, and that's the good news. We'll be talking more about that coming up in just a moment.
Mac, thank you. Rescuers are searching the mountains of western North Carolina for anyone still unaccounted for since Hurricane Helene's remnants caused catastrophic damage across the southeast. The death toll Tuesday reached 166 people. Residents in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina were lining up for water and food after the storm deluged the region. In Augusta, Georgia, people waited in line for more than 3 hours to get water. President Biden plans to survey storm damage on Wednesday.
A former Kentucky sheriff appears in court for a preliminary hearing. Sean Mickey Steins has pleaded not guilty to murdering Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins. Prosecutors say Steins fatally shot the judge in his own chambers last month. The community has been waiting for details as to why investigators believe Steins and Mullins ended up in an argument that left the judge dead. The pair has been described as friends who had lunch together on the day of the killing. A judge will now decide whether there's enough evidence to send the case to a grand jury.
A Houston attorney says he is representing 120 accusers who have come forward with sexual misconduct allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. Tony Busby said Tuesday he expects lawsuits to be filed within the next month. Busby described the victims as 60 males and 60 females, and that 25 were minors at the time of the reported misconduct. Combs is behind bars in New York awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. He pleaded not guilty to those charges. Proper training and quick thinking, that's what authorities in Houston say saved the life of a baby who was choking. The incident occurred in Houston when a police officer was called to help a 9-month-old choking on a piece of plastic.
Yeah, the amazing rescue was all caught on camera. Mario Diaz shows us the body cam footage.
Not my favorite sound in the world, but that moment, okay, he's breathing. The baby's crying, it's breathing.
The sounds of a miracle piercing through the night. It happened a month ago today, outside of Cedar Brook Elementary School.
They think he might have ate something.
Spring Branch ISD police officer Juan Pedraza relying on his training and instincts to rescue a baby boy, approximately 9 months in age, choking on a piece of plastic. All of it captured on body cam. Larry Bainbridge is Pedraza's chief.
Before the days of body cams, these things weren't well documented, and you'd hear about them, but you didn't see them. Now you can see them.
What the camera shows is Pedraza working relentlessly for minutes as he attempts to dislodge the piece of plastic. The officer jumping into action without hesitation.
You don't get a chance to call timeout. You don't get a chance to, get on your phone and go, what do I do? The baby's choking. You better know beforehand. And you better take action right away because every single second counts.
Until the silence is broken. As the baby cried, reality began to set in for all. The baby's life had been saved. Pedraza was honored for his heroics last week by the district. However, what few know is that he only recently transferred to nights so that Pedraza could spend more time with his own baby boy.
You were right where you're supposed to be. You were on night shift when you needed to be on night shift. You're where you need to be at the right moment.
An explosion at an industrial plant in Central Texas injured 5 people Tuesday. Temple Fire and EMS crews were called after receiving an emergency call regarding an explosion inside the Delta centrifugal plant. Authorities said 5 people were transported to a local hospital after suffering severe burns when one of the plant's furnaces exploded. The injuries do not appear life-threatening.
Dock workers walked off the job almost 24 hours ago now at Port Houston. That's just one of several ports along the Gulf and East coasts where workers are picketing. The International Longshoremen's Association is demanding higher pay and protections against automated technology. They weren't satisfied with the offer from the United States Maritime Alliance, which represents port operators and shipping companies. Businesses that rely on overseas shipping will be hurt the most the longer it takes for the two groups to reach a deal.
A Harris County man tied to 5 killings was executed tonight. Garcia White committed multiple murders between 1989 and 1995. He is the 5th Texas inmate executed this year. To read this full and updated Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com.
A $550 million makeover of the historic Alamo in San Antonio is now underway. That effort includes what will be a new visitor center and museum. The Texas Lieutenant Governor was among the many dignitaries at a ceremony today to kick off the construction. It's being touted as a world-class facility and a significant milestone in the mission's history. Alamo officials say the 100,000 square foot museum will help deepen public understanding of its history. Construction is scheduled to be completed in 2027. Well, nearly 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. It's a leading cause of death in the United States. And this weekend, the Victoria community is coming together to raise funds and awareness to fight against the disease. The Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's is on Saturday at Riverside Park Children's Playground Pavilion. Registration starts at 8 with the ceremony and the walk getting underway at 9. It's not too late to sign up if you or a group of people want to join. I will be there as the MC supporting the event as well. So hope to see lots of people in the community out there.
Very excellent cause. Excellent cause. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us coming up on 25 News now at 10. Iran fired almost 200 missiles at Israel as the Middle East conflict grows.
And there's some good news and some bad in a new report on breast cancer cases in the U.S. Welcome back. The gunman charged in the second assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump will go to trial next month. A judge today set a jury trial for Ryan Ruth for November 18th. This trial date could move if either party files a motion to delay it, as long as the judge finds they have good reason. Ruth could spend the rest of his life behind bars if he's convicted. Ruth has pleaded not guilty to the charges.
Today, the Department of Education started testing a new version of a college financial aid form known as FAFSA. Congress mandated the department streamline the application process to deliver more money to college students. But when the department tried to revamp its form last year, it caused more problems. So the Department of Education is trying again. It will test the form for next year to make sure it works properly before the department makes it public in December.
Iran launched a ballistic missile attack on Israel today, marking a significant escalation in the widening conflict in the Middle East.
An Israeli security officer said most of the missiles were intercepted, though some managed to land.
Iran has unleashed a massive missile attack on Israel. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps says the attack focused on Israeli security and military targets and launched in response to Israel's killing of Hezbollah's leader and others in Lebanon recently. The attack, not a total surprise, but it does level up concerns of a widening regional conflict.
This is a significant escalation by Iran, a significant event.
An escalation the Biden administration is watching closely.
Based on what we know now, the attack appears to have been defeated and ineffective. Make no mistake, the United States is fully supportive of Israel.
This all comes after Israel's launch of a ground operation in southern Lebanon targeting Iran-backed Hezbollah. Israeli officials described the ground offensive in Lebanon as localized raids. Once the air attack by Iran was underway, Israeli military leaders said they were ready for it, and so were the people of Israel.
We dealt with such a threat before in the past, and we will deal with it now. I call on the public to continue acting responsibly as you did throughout the war.
Some Iranian missiles fired at Israel Tuesday night made direct impact in central and southern Israel, the Israeli military spokesperson said, adding that Iran's actions today will have consequences.
And this brings us to today's viewer poll. With the escalation of conflict in the Middle East, how do you think the situation between Israel and Iran should be handled? Once again, overwhelmingly, 81% in this case support the Israeli defense after everything that happened today, and there were so many things that happened in the Middle East today. We thank you so much for voting.
A synagogue is increasing security for the Jewish High Holy Days. The 150-year-old congregation Neve Shalom in Portland, Oregon is going to advanced ticketing and bag checks. The rabbis want to bring area worshipers together for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Services, they're also aware that anti-Semitic incidents have risen 63% across the country over the past 2 years. Nearly 3/4 of religious-related hate crimes over the past 3 years have targeted the Jewish community. Escalating tensions in the Middle East heightened that risk even more.
Today, the American Cancer Society released their latest breast cancer report, revealing both encouraging and concerning updates.
Mortality rates overall are dropping in the U.S., but the number of breast cancer cases, particularly among younger women, are on the rise. ABC's Melissa Adon has more on this first day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
A new report from the American Cancer Society out today reveals the latest breast cancer trends in the United States. The good news, the number of Americans dying from breast cancer is going down, dropping by 44% since 1989.
Unquestionably a win. If we look at that same interval for cancers overall, breast cancer is outpacing the rest of cancers with regard to reduction in mortality.
The ACS crediting that reduction in part to improved detection with screening mammograms, as well as advancements in treatment. But increasing numbers of new cases, especially among women under the age of 50, is concerning researchers, along with disparities among certain racial and ethnic communities. The Asian American Pacific Islander population is seeing the steepest incline of breast cancer cases.
This is a group that we traditionally have thought of as having a much lower than average breast cancer risk. That's clearly changing.
Black women have a 38% higher mortality rate than white women, while Native American and Alaska Native women have a 6% higher mortality rate than white women, despite fewer diagnoses in these groups. As the ACS works to address these disparities, they urge women to follow their screening guidelines, discussing breast cancer screening with their doctors by age 40 and getting mammograms by age 45. Women at a higher than average risk should start those discussions sooner.
What we would like everyone to hear is that early detection saves lives, without question. So get screened, and if you feel something or something seems amiss, don't wait. Be seen and detect cancer early.
The ACS also pointing out that breast cancer can affect men, especially African American men, who have double the risk compared to white men. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The Victoria County Public Health Department needs your feedback in order to assess the health of our community. Residents are encouraged to complete an online survey that asks about several things, such as the quality of life, access to health care, chronic disease, health habits, community issues, and more. The survey is open through this Saturday, and those who complete it can enter a drawing for a $100 gift card. To get the link to that survey, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com.
Well, good evening, everyone. We're looking at 76 degrees right about now. We did get up into the 90s again today, and it's going to stay on the warm and toasty side. 96 was the official high, and 88 is where we're supposed to be. But there are some showers on the horizon, but it's not going to be a huge tropical thing. We'll be talking more about that coming up after this. Well, good evening, everyone. You might have heard me earlier talk about that by October, the frontal systems begin to move, and that's good. And that is why I think the tropical storm season ends in October instead of November, as the Hurricane Center says. But yeah, this is going to be interesting for the next couple of days. Today, or tonight, we have a little front to the north. It's not a huge cold front. It's really kind of a dry line. It's going to be dropping down into our area overnight tomorrow, and by tomorrow morning. And you'll get a nice north wind out of it, as a matter of fact. Not a huge, big thing, but it's enough to keep us on the very sunny and very dry and very hot kind of situation. We're still staying in the mid-90s. So we look across the ocean, what is going on down here? Well, this is kind of an old frontal system, but right there you can see, let's see if you can see the circulation right about there. There you see it going round and round. That's the one we've been looking at that is going to sort of roll into this very moist field, pick up some of that moisture and start rolling toward the Texas coast. I'm not saying it'll be a tropical storm. It looks like it's going to be an easterly wave that's going to go in this fashion, but because of the frontal systems, may not make it. We'll show you that in a moment. 95 tomorrow. If you're working outdoors, you just know the evenings and the mornings are nice, but the daytimes they get a little hot out there. Looking at 94 in Houston, 92 in Corpus Christi, 96 up in San Antonio. So we still have a 40% chance of this thing becoming a tropical storm. However, let's just say that it's probably going to stay at that altitude, and then as the system rolls up and merges with it, it's going to roll toward our area. Will it give us some rain? It will give us some rain along the immediate coastline, but not a huge amount. Still in the Atlantic, we're still very busy. We're looking at Kirk right about here. This will be probably Leslie as soon as tomorrow. And so we watch and wait to see what happens in the Gulf of Mexico. Let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Watch this. This is the rain expected over Texas over the next 4 or 5 days. So we go to Thursday, then into Friday, and do you see something happening here? Okay, we got a little bit of shower activity along the coast, heavy stuff down in the Gulf, and then a little bit of a circulation here. That one is the one that's going to get pushed away by the next front. Watch this. So we go to Wednesday. You can see how the whole mass starts moving toward us. We go to Thursday. We see how the two sort of face off each other. And I believe the frontal system will actually keep most of the rain shower activity right along the immediate coastline, maybe as far inland as Victoria. But those of you along, Seadrift and Port O'Connor, you're going to get something. But this is kind of the path that it's going to take. It's going to run up, then get caught up in the front, then the front's going to take it across. Looks like the southeastern United States, which doesn't need any more rain, is going to get a little bit more rain by the remnants of that system. That it organizes into a tropical storm is possible, but not likely. I think it's just going to be a broad area of low pressure. So that's kind of the way that one works out, and the little fronts are making a difference. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine, 91 in Port Lavaca. Cuero getting up to about 94. Beautiful day tomorrow, a lot wall-to-wall sunshine, no complaints all the way through. Then we start picking up a little tropical, not tropical rain, but just enough moisture to see a few little showers Saturday and Sunday. I wouldn't worry about it washing anything out. These will be isolated and mostly along the coast. And then on Monday night, there's that front that actually knocks the temperature down a whole 5 degrees. That'll be exciting. That's your 7-day forecast reminding, hey, it's October. That's your 7-day forecast reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. And here's Max with sports.
All right, thanks, Mac. We had some volleyball action tonight here in the Crossroads. We'll give you scores and updates coming up in sports. Three days away from the start of week 6 of high school football. We have one huge district game we're going to be covering here between Kerrville-Tivy Antlers and the Victoria West Warriors. Both of these teams head to this matchup. It's going to be a big time one. For Kerrville, they're 4-1 and their only loss was to San Antonio Davenport earlier in the year. And some of their star players keep an eye on is their quarterback Jackson Kincaid, and their running back is also a pretty good athlete as well. But for West, they're undefeated right now. They're 5-0, and they're trying to build more and more confidence. Again, they had a win over San Antonio McCullum last week. Coach Courtney Boyce is just excited to see what they can do because they were 6-7 last year, and they already could have a chance to eclipse that with a win this Friday. And so you obviously had Dominic Martinez, Tristan Bernard, and also running back Genesis Jeffries. They're going to be huge in that matchup here on Friday night. And speaking of Dominic Martinez, earlier today I had a chance to talk with him to hear his thoughts heading into this Friday night.
Be confident, just stay within ourselves and then give it to him at home and, listen to coach and follow our rules.
Martinez is hoping just to get a big time win heading into district play, keep that momentum going this Friday night. Now we had some district action again in volleyball, again in Vanderbilt with the Cobras playing the Brahmas in Hallettsville. And this one went back and forth, but the Cobras, they would do just enough to pull out the victory tonight. And again, set number 1, again, this was back and forth. The Hallettsville ladies, they showed a little bit of resilience pulling out the set 2 win to even up the match. However, that would be the only one that they would win because Industrial, they defend their home court and they take the match in 4. And so Industrial now 5-1 in district, and Hallettsville now 2-4 in district. So the Brahmas, they're looking to bounce back against Yoakum on Friday. And Industrial, they get Tidehaven, just like the football team. They get to have that as well on Friday night. And what about Victoria West Volleyball? They traveled to the Marshall Buffaloes in Houston area here tonight. They actually won there 3-0. Again, they are right now 5-0 in district play, 30-4 overall this season. And they play Lamar Consolidated this Friday night, who played actually Victoria East tonight, actually. So in this one, Victoria East won 3-0 over Lamar Consolidated, and they get to play back home against Fort Bend Kepner Cougars this Friday night. And finally tonight, the Houston Astros, they played game 1 of the AL wildcard round against Detroit Tigers and did not go their way. They lost 3-1. The Tigers, they got on the board early in the second inning. Jake Rogers hit an RBI single, and the Tigers, they would get up 1-0, but then obviously Trey Sweeney and then Matt Verlaine also got big hits as well. They got up 3-0. But at the end of the day, the Astros had an opportunity. Yonder Diaz got RBI single, and Yordan Alvarez had a chance. It was bases loaded. They had 2 outs, but he couldn't pull it away, and the Tigers win game 1. So the Astros, they need to win these next 2 games in order to stay alive in the playoff race. That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max. By the way, game 2, Astros-Tigers right here tomorrow at 1:30. Go Stros Ghost. Yes, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10. We'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, a 95-year-old Kansas woman proves there is no age barrier to pickleball success. Not fake news about fake ice cream. Breyers agreed to settle a class action lawsuit over its natural vanilla ice cream for nearly $9 million. The suit charges the ice cream was labeled vanilla, implying the flavor only came from a vanilla plant, which was not the case. Anyone who bought the ice cream between April 2016 and August 2024 could be eligible for a cash payment. The court also ruled the companies must develop a new product formula that does not include vanilla from non-vanilla plant sources within a year.
Interesting. Well, a Kansas woman is showing that age is no barrier to success, especially on the pickleball court. Lois White, a regular player every Tuesday and Thursday, not only plays, but wins. At 95, she has seen a lot in her life, from the first airplane over Missouri to raising 6 kids with her military husband. Whether playing pickleball, dancing, even learning a new instrument, Lois just keeps moving. So her secret to longevity, 95 years old, never sit still.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
right.
we were
Pickleball's a great
we were
sport.
just saying during the break, I
Great
was saying
sport.
pickleball is a very fun sport to play. Like you said,
Absolutely.
all ages can play it. You know, it's just exciting. For sure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to sue because of Rocky Road. It doesn't have any road in it, you know? How about that?
Wow.
$9 million. Jeez. Anyway, folks, we're looking at still sunny, still warm weather all the way to the weekend. And the weekend, we do pick up a few little showers along the immediate coastline. Don't worry, I know we have Tejas Fest coming in, and I think it'll be fine. It'll be just a little bit more humid, and then drier weather coming in on Monday.
Good pickleball weather.
That lawsuit could have a rocky road. Hey, October is National Seafood Month, and Wednesday is National Fried Scallops Day. Seafood lovers in the U.S. eat 3 kinds of scallops: sea scallops, bay scallops, and calico scallops. The trick is to not overcook scallops. If that happens, they can become tough and rubbery. But cooking just right delivers a melt-in-your-mouth tender texture.
Never heard of them fried.
No, I like them anyway.
Yeah.
Sauteed.
Sounds pretty good. All right, well, thanks for joining us for 25 News Now at 10.
Join Carolina Parker Cox, 25 News Now Sunrise, 5 a.m. Good night.